just want to clarify that picture of Gohan is actually supposed to be Goku. And, let's begin. So, previously on What If Beerus Found Goku, Raditz and Nappa were defeated by Goku. And Raditz was spared and welcomed into the Z fighting. And Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz went off to train. So, when Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz are done training, they all sit under the shade of a tree, and Raditz starts to tell them about how Vegeta will be coming in a year's time, and is stronger than Goku. Goku would look at Raditz with a smile on his face, and he'd tell him, "We'll be ready." And they all get up and fly over to Bulma's house. And when they get to Bulma, they ask Bulma if she can make a room that can increase and decrease gravity. And she told them, yeah, she can make one of those. Why? Do you guys want one? And Goku said, yeah, we want one for training. And she responded, I can get it done in a couple of weeks. But until then, you won't be able to use it. They all agree. And they all say, okay. And they fly off to Kame's house. And when they get there, they ask Krillin, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, and Shinhan if they want to train. But none of them want to train with Raditz, seeing as how he was just evil. Goku, feeling like they won't be able to train it with anybody to get a lot stronger, he thinks. And he gets an idea. He flies up, and then he teleports to Beerus' world with Raditz and Piccolo. He then asks Whis if he can train Raditz, Piccolo, and himself. Whis agrees, but they have to come there every day until they found a new training method. And they all say, okay, we will. And so they can start training. A couple of weeks gone by, 4 to be exact, so basically a month. Everybody, well, Piccolo, Raditz, and Goku fly down to the capsule court and see if the chamber is done. And sure enough, the gravity chamber is done. And Bulma tells them that they could go in there right now if they wanted to. And Goku, Raditz, and Piccolo go inside the room. And Raditz increases the gravity by 20%, and they all fall flat on the ground. It takes them a couple of hours to get used to it, but when they do, they start to fight. Goku and Piccolo clash fists, with Raditz coming in and trying to kick them both, but they both dodged the kick. Then Goku would knee Piccolo in the stomach and grab him by his legs and throw him at Raditz. Raditz would catch Piccolo and go in for a punch on Goku. Goku would dodge this punch, and Raditz would throw a barrage more of punch and kicks. Goku would dodge all these until he blocked the last punch, and he punched Raditz in the gut. Raditz then jumped back and shot a ki blast at Goku. Goku, not wanting to destroy the gravity chamber, he just blocked it with his arms. He then rushes at Raditz, but then Piccolo grabs him and pulls him in closer by using his long arms. And when he gets Goku close enough, he starts to swing him around, and then he slams him on the ground. He then wraps his arms around Goku to get ready to squeeze him. And as he starts squeezing Goku, Goku powers up, and Piccolo's arms fly off from Goku, and Piccolo flies back. Raditz then goes in for a punch from Goku, and it hits him right in the mouth. Goku then looks at Raditz and punches him back, and they start throwing a barrage of punches and kicks at each other. Then Goku gets the last punch and punches Raditz right in the face, knocking him down. Goku then looks at Piccolo and flies toward him. Piccolo extends his arms trying to go for a punch, but Goku, being familiar with this move, he grabs his arm and he slams him onto the ground. He then punches Piccolo in the gut until he passes out of exhaustion. When they woke up, they would get up and they would cut off the gravity, returning the gravity to normal. And they all felt so lighter when they turned the gravity back to normal. And by the time they got out the time chamber, Goku's power level was now 20,000. Raditz's power level is now 16,000, rivaling Vegeta, but not being strong enough to beat him. And Piccolo's power level was at 13,000. And they went to check on the humans. She's not a fighter. Chi-Chi, Tien, Shinhan, Yamcha, and Krillin. So, Krillin's power level is 1,500. Chi-Chi's power level is 1,650. Yamcha's power level is 1,500, and Tien Shinhan's power level is 2,000, being stronger than all the Z fighters. Goku was astonished by their power levels, and then he lets Raditz walk in front of him. Then he grabs Raditz's tail and shoots it off with a ki blast. And he looks at Raditz and he says, "Just in case you try to turn on us." And Raditz smiles, saying he wouldn't think of it. So, after they start training, after they stop training in the gravity chamber, let's say the year gets here, and they've been training in the gravity chamber ever since. Now, everybody besides Chi-Chi, Bulma, Krillin, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, Bulma, Krillin, and Yamcha stand a chance against Vegeta. Tien Shinhan was training with Goku, Raditz, and Piccolo, seeing as he trusts Raditz now. And after the rest of the year, Tien Shinhan's power level went from 2,000 all the way up to 14,000. Chi-Chi's power level only went up to 5,000. And Krillin's goes up to 4,000, with Yamcha's going up to 3,500. They all face off, staring at Vegeta. And Vegeta goes full power, and he goes straight for Raditz. He gets ready to punch Raditz in the face, but Raditz catches it. Raditz then punches Vegeta in the gut. And Vegeta actually is hurt. And Vegeta thought, how could he get so strong? He's a low-class Saiyan, he'd say to himself. But then he checked his scouter, seeing that everyone there other than Chi-Chi, Bulma, Tien Shinhan, and Yamcha were stronger than him. So he looks at Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz in fear of seeing how strong they are. And he looks at Raditz and he sees he doesn't have a tail. So he thinks to himself, if I go grade 8, none of them will be able to stand a chance. But before he can finish that thought, Goku comes and punches him in the face. And Goku starts throwing a barrage of punches and kicks, breaking Vegeta's armor. He then kicks Vegeta all the way into a mountain nearby. And it would stay silent for a while. Then they would see a big white ball get launched into the sky. And then Vegeta would turn into a great ape. Vegeta powers up a beam a mouse cannon. Yeah. And he shoots it at Tien Shinhan. This highly damages Tien Shinhan, and he is on the brink of death. Goku looks at Tien Shinhan in sadness, and he goes after Vegeta. He tries to punch Vegeta, but Vegeta just grabs him and starts to squeeze him. But then he throws him into the ground. Goku was going full power. Goku thought, and he said, if I can't beat him, we're all gonna die here. He sits there, sits there half unconscious. Piccolo and Raditz then try to fight off Grade 8 Vegeta, but they just get swatted away like flies. The only people that are still able to fight are not Tien Shinhan, are Chi-Chi, I keep saying Bulma, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, Yamcha, and Krillin. And they know if Goku couldn't beat them, then they definitely have no chance. And they all sit there awaiting to impending doom. Goku sits there knowing that all of his friends are gonna die. Goku starts to feel a sudden anger. Goku yells. Vegeta turns around, feeling massive ki coming from behind him, and he turns around to see Goku. But Goku has blonde hair. Goku has just went Super Saiyan. And this increases his power by... This increases Goku's power level to 1 million. And Goku then charges straight for Vegeta, grabbing his tail and severing it. Vegeta returns back to normal. And Goku is powering up a death ball until he hears Raditz's weak voice. And Raditz says, "Don't kill him. Let him go," he said to Goku. Goku would look at Raditz, then he looked at Vegeta, and he would go to Vegeta, and he'd take him to the pod, and he'd just throw him in the pod, and send the pod to random coordinates, and he'd close it. Vegeta's pod goes off, and they don't hear from him. But before they go, Vegeta says something about Frieza and a planet called Namek. So they all go to Kami. Krillin, Yamcha, Tien Shinhan, Raditz, and Goku go to Kami after getting healed up. And they ask Kami about a planet called Namek. And Kami tells them that there's a planet called Namek not too far from here. And then they ask him about Frieza. And Kami tells them about how Frieza is like a strong being that wants to rule the universe. So Kami says, you guys might want to get over there before Frieza does and is able to get the Dragon Balls. Because if Frieza can get those Dragon Balls, then we might not be able to stop him. Goku nods, and he goes to Bulma and asks her if she can make the ship. And she said yeah, and it will take as long as it did for the gravity chamber. So then, after the ship is made, Goku, Raditz, Piccolo, Krillin, and Tien Shinhan all go in the ship, and they go all the way to Namek. bombard the radar, drag the radar with them. And when they get on Namek, well, the trip to Namek took 6 days, and for those 6 days they were training extremely. And Goku's power level goes from 20,000 to 25,000. Tien Shinhan's power goes to 17,000. Raditz power level goes to 20,000. And Piccolo goes to 17,000 also. And after all this, when they make it on Namek, they instantly start searching for the Dragon Balls. Seeing that 5 of the Dragon Balls are already in one spot, they think that is Frieza, and they go to Guru's place, and they ask Guru if they could have the Dragon Ball, and Guru asks, what do they need the Dragon Balls for? And they say, we're trying to stop Frieza from getting all the Dragon Balls, he'd say. Goku would say. And Guru, trusting that their intentions are good, he gives them the Dragon Ball. But then he unlocks Tien's potential, Piccolo's potential, Goku's, and Raditz's. That brings Goku's power level all the way up to 200,000. It brings Raditz up to 150,000. And it brings Piccolo and Tien Shinhan's power level up to 100,000. And Krillin just shy of 100,000, being at 95,000. They all fly to the ship and hide the Dragon Ball there as they go look for the 7th one. And they see the 7th one is moving, and they rush over there quickly thinking it's a Frieza soldier. But when they get there, it's Vegeta. Vegeta is sitting there looking at Goku, Raditz, and Piccolo. And him thinking Krillin is still weak, he looks at Krillin, saying if he wants to fight, he'll kill Krillin in his head. But then he realizes Krillin has a power level of 95,000, outclassing Vegeta by a lot. Vegeta is then asked by Goku to hand over the Dragon Ball. Vegeta says, why should he hand over the Dragon Ball? And Goku says, because if you don't, Frieza might get it from you. And then that's putting him closer to his goal, he would say to Vegeta. And Vegeta, thinking, he makes a plan to steal the wish, and he'll wish for immortality. So he says, I'll partner with you guys. And he gives them the Dragon Ball. And they take the Dragon Ball back to the ship, but they leave Vegeta far away from the ship, so he won't double cross them. And then they start walking through Namek until they run across Zarbon. Zarbon looks at them all and he says, Vegeta and Raditz, those weaklings are here. And Raditz would yell at Zarbon, saying he wasn't weak anymore. And Zarbon says, you want to test that? And Raditz glares into Zarbon's eyes, and he flies toward him and punches him in the mouth. Zarbon tries to recover, but Raditz is already there, giving him a lot of punches, and a barrage of kicks. Zarbon then gets the strength to escape, and then he flies back and transforms Raditz would fly towards him, and then fly around him, being behind Zarbon, and he would say double Sunday, and he'd kill Zarbon. And feeling Zarbon's energy fade, Dodoria then flies over to where Zarbon's ki faded away. And he gets there right as Raditz, Goku, Piccolo, Krillin, and Vegeta are about to leave. And he shoots a ki blast at Krillin. This hits Krillin, but it doesn't do much damage. And they all look at Dodoria, and Krillin says he has this one. And he goes to Dodoria and starts throwing a barrage of punches and kicks at Dodoria. He then drop kicks Dodoria far back, and then powers up a Kamehameha wave, shooting it at Dodoria, killing Dodoria. And Frieza is now being angry at how two of his best soldiers have just died. And then he sends in the Ginyu Force. The Ginyu Force goes to where Dodoria and Zarbon died, but Goku and the crew are gone. So they all go looking for the Z fighters. Goku and Vegeta are thinking about getting some training in while they're away from all the Frieza soldiers. So Goku and Vegeta train. Raditz trains with Piccolo, and Krillin trains with Vegeta and Goku, seeing how Vegeta is weaker than himself, and he could get him stronger. And they train, but their training was cut short, or the Ginyu Force had just made it outside of the cave they were in. And the Ginyu Force sends Raccoon out to deal with Vegeta, Piccolo, to deal with the Z fighters. And Raccoon tries to attack Vegeta first. He gets punched in the face, and Raccoon flies all the way and hits the cave wall. Goku then dashes at Ginyu and punches him in the face, breaking the scouter. He then starts throwing a barrage of punches and kicks at Ginyu, while Vegeta goes back for Raccoon, and Raditz takes on Goldo and Jeez. Burter is occupied by Krillin. And Krillin is starting to lose to Burter, but then Vegeta quickly gets rid of Raccoon and starts helping Krillin. Raditz then takes care of Jeez and Goldo, and they all start to go see if Goku wins his fight yet. And Goku then grabs Ginyu by the horns, and Ginyu is about to use a move. And Goku, being smart enough to not take that chance for his move could cause him death, or it can do really anything because he hasn't seen the move. He rips off Ginyu's horns and shoves the ki blast into the side of his head, killing Ginyu. They all went straight for Frieza. Now that Frieza doesn't have any soldiers that can put up a fight against them. And when they get to Frieza, they all jump at him in his first form, and they're demolishing him. He can't even stop them either. And he eventually is able to fly out of the chaos and go straight to his full power form. They all go after him, and they all don't stand a chance. And he is just swiping them away punching them in their faces and kicking them. Piccolo, Raditz, and Goku, and Vegeta are the only ones that can stand, but they're barely able to stand. And and Frieza goes to Raditz, dashes to Raditz, and wraps his tail around Raditz's neck. He then shoots a death beam straight through Raditz's stomach. Goku watches in fear, this time knowing that they're going to die, because this threat is much stronger than Vegeta. Goku then gets kicked in the face by Frieza, and Frieza stomps on his face, with Vegeta and Piccolo tackling Frieza, but Frieza easily gets them off of him. He then shoots a ki blast at Piccolo. Piccolo is on the brink of death, saying that to Goku, you must win, right before he passes out. Vegeta, being the only one left standing, starts to power up, and he tells Frieza that he's the legendary Super Saiyan, and he dashes at Frieza, getting ready to deliver a punch to the face, but then gets kneed in the stomach. Goku starts feeling the same feeling he felt when he fought against Vegeta. And he stands up and he powers up. He goes after Frieza and starts to beat on Frieza. Frieza is caught off guard about how this monkey just got much stronger. Frieza then starts to throw punches and kicks back, and they're clashing. It seems like they're evenly matched. Frieza then goes full power and punches Goku in the stomach. Goku stands there, and then he starts to power up even more. And as he's powering up, his hair starts to spike yellow. And he says to Frieza, "How could you do this? You killed my friends. How could you? You're gonna pay for this." And then his hair goes fully yellow, and he dashes at Frieza, delivering many kicks and many punches to Frieza. Frieza not even being able to block these punches or kicks. Frieza then gets punched into the air. Then Goku teleports right behind him and cups both of his hands together and smashes them down on Frieza's head, making him fall into the ground. Goku then picks up Frieza and makes a death ball in his hand. And he just pushes it straight into Frieza's chest. Frieza is now dying. Frieza gets up and thinks to himself, how could this trash hurt me? And then he tries to punch Goku in the face. Goku catches this fist and punches Frieza into the ground. And he keeps punching him until Frieza is dead. And to make sure Frieza's dead, he shoots a ki blast at him, basically completely obliterating the lower half of his body. He then picks up Piccolo's head, letting it rest, and he feeds him a senzu bean. Piccolo's energy is restored, but he can still feel the pain a bit. He then picks up Raditz, and he walks off. Vegeta gets up a little after and grabs Dragon Balls. And when they go, Vegeta puts the Dragon Balls down, and Goku gets the 2 other Dragon Balls. And the first wish was for Raditz to be revived. The second wish was given to the Namekians. And the third wish was also given to the Namekians. Vegeta was gonna end up wishing for immortality, but he was already teleported to the ship by Goku. And they all flew off in the ship, going back to Earth. And that's where I'm going to end this off. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. And yeah, see you guys next time.